What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, we're going over the Tier 10 Royal Navy battleship, the Conqueror. We're going to quickly go over its stats, its gameplay, and what it's doing, in my opinion, to World of Warships. And I don't really think it's a good thing. Let's dive into the stats on this ship. Now, at Tier 10, you're looking at 82,900 life for a Tier 10 battleship. By far the lowest. I think the closest is the Montana with almost 14,000 more. But the thing that's different about this ship is you aren't really going to be getting close and kind of tanking like you would normally with this ship as you would the other ships. So your damage is a little bit different. Also, on top of that, you have a ridiculous heal that if you are running a certain flag that gives you a bit more, you're pumping out 30 to 35,000 per heal, and you're going to be running with Superintendent and a premium consumable. You're going to be running 4 heals on top of that. So even though you have a bit lower life, you are going to be okay. Trust me. Torpedo protection is 30%. It's one of the lower ones. It just barely beats out the Kerr first, but still, you're going to be pretty far away. The thing that is the kryptonite to this ship is torpedoes, especially CV torps and stuff like that, so you do take a lot of extra damage from that. So it is kind of its weakness, but still, if you are playing this ship, you're going to be a little bit farther away, most likely far enough away from torps, so you won't be taking too much. The armor on this ship, now the armor is actually pretty good in the fact that you're not really going to ever take torpedoes. You can, or not take torpedoes, citadels. So if you can see this, you have a massive armor belt right here for citadels. Rarely ever gets citadel. The only time you're really going to ever citadel this thing is from a long range. I think I put a triple or a quad sit into a Conqueror once before in my Montana, but he was about 20 kilometers away. So if you are actually going to be hitting that high angle and that plunging fire, it is possible to citadel these things. Close range, not so much. Long range, it definitely can happen. It won't happen often, but it still can. So this ship, what it does is it takes high alpha damage from its low armor areas, but you're basically trading. So if you're going to be going broadside against Yamato or a Montana, he's going to be pumping big damage into you. It's not citadel damage, so it won't be massive. And you, since you have this certain kind of AP on this ship, you're going to citadel the hell out of them. So it's kind of that win-win, I guess. Although these ships are kind of known as being pseudo-fragile. The thing is, though, you have this massive heal, so it kind of offsets everything. But you're basically not going to get citadeled really ever. Main battery. Now, these are the monsters that it is basically taking over the ship and really kind of showing they're really having a lot of people get super pissed at this ship, and that is the HE on this. Now, you have one of the fastest reloads out of all Tier 10 battleships at 26.4 seconds. That is with the reload mod. At a range of 24.3, one of the farthest ranges, so you're shooting from the farthest, one of the farthest, you're shooting one of the fastest, and by far the highest HE chance at 50%. Now that's without demo expert, so you're going to pump out 12 shells at 50%, you're going to be getting lots and lots of fire, as well as high alpha damage at 7,200 a shell. These things are just, this ship is just a crazy thing that is a battleship. Out of all the lines that have come up, the German, the Yamato, the Kerr versus the Yamato, the Montana, these things have really taught you how to kind of play well. Maybe the German line not so much, but have taught you how to play this battleship. If you angle right, you can use your armor. If you are shooting AP at certain objects, it tells you when to shoot AP, when to shoot HE. This ship is the first one that really takes any kind of training, any kind of knowledge of the game, and just says, hey, if you shoot HE ammo, you can 100% be successful, and you don't have to worry about it. This ship would be just as successful if they completely took it, armor piercing off of it. The alpha damage is way too high. The fire chance is incredibly high, and yeah, so this ship has insane HE. This is going to kind of turn into a review slash rant on this ship. I just wanted to get a nice review on this ship and kind of go over all the stats, because it is a good ship, but it blows my mind that this is a ship that's still in the game in its current state. So anyways, max dispersion is kind of meh, but you are shooting at a long range, so most of your shells will be probably within that 15 to 20 kilometer range, and you will be putting out, trust me, you're going to do a ton of damage on this ship consistently. It's one of the highest average damage ships. It is the highest average damage ship in all of warships right now by a big margin. So it's nothing too crazy. So secondary armaments, you probably will never use these ever if you're playing this ship. They are there. You have 7.2, that is with AFT, but no need to spec this thing out for secondary or anything like that. AA, one of the weaknesses of this ship, so I kind of spec into the ship. It really, if you are playing a battleship or a certain thing, look at what its weaknesses and try to defend or do whatever you can with your captain skills and modules to defend that. So I completely spec this thing out for AA with the AA module. I think I went with the AA module. And certain captive skills help out with AFT. So yeah, I bumped it out the AA range on this. So that is getting it almost up to 100 AA rating. So you are going to actually have a ton of AA to help you out with planes. I have been able to shred some planes. So right about 5 kilometers, you're dropping over 350 damage for planes. So it's actually pretty strong when you kind of get the ship by itself without specking too into it. You can actually get kind of picked on base CV, so it's good to kind of throw in these extra little captain skills and these extra little modules to help you out. Maneuverability, 31 knots, so you're relatively quick. 940 meters, so you are kind of, I guess, a little bit of a smaller ship compared to the other ones, and rotor ship at 13.9 seconds. Now, one of the insane, so you have this insane HE firing, fast firing, insane healing. You have the by far the lowest detection concealment, lowest detection of any tier 10 battleship. It's not even close. 11.1 kilometers. So yes, if you are playing the Conqueror, or let's say you're playing a Henry, which is a cruiser, right, known for being relatively stealthy. If you are a Henry, your detection with a concealment captain and detectability module gets down to 12.7. So that means a Conqueror could sneak up to you by 1.6 kilometers, almost 2 full kilometers, and surprise you. Now that's a battleship sneaking up on a cruiser. I don't see anything wrong there. There's a bit of sarcasm in that sentence. So yes, you have insane detectability. It's super, super low. You have this HE. You have this range. The perfect firestorm, if you will. But all in all, the stats by themselves are really competitive. Even if this was an AP firing ship, it's the HE that really kind of sets it up. The Conqueror is just a crazy, crazy ship to be playing, and yeah, still don't know how the ship got into the game like this. Very basic captain build for me. Preventive maintenance for that. This is a 19-point captain, high alert, and basic survivability. You can maybe even transfer some of these over because you don't take too much. But I guess there's a lot of HE going on right now. Adrenaline rush, superintendent, AFT, and be sure to get concealment expert. This is what you should get with 10 points. So this is my captain right here. Switching over to modules. We have auxiliary armament 1. So I kept this because there's so much HE going on right now, and I want to keep those AA mods to protect them as long as possible. That's my idea on this process. You could take main armament mod 1 if you really want to kind of protect your main guns. I guess maybe even damage control or one of the other unique ones. I think auxiliary is probably the best for this. Like I said earlier, I grabbed the AA mod to give you a little bit extra range, a little bit extra oomph in the damage you can do with your AA. The whole thing, your ship is all about pumping out as much damage as you can with those guns, so more shells going out means more damage in the long run. So main battery mod 3. And damage control system mod 1, I think is pretty basic. Maneuverability of the steering gear is mod 2. And then, of course, concealment system mod 1 as well for the last one. Let's dive into some gameplay. We'll kind of talk about what this ship is doing to high tier gameplay and really kind of what I hope they really end up doing to this ship. So here we are in game with the Conqueror, helping support our 2 DDs. Yes, a battleship supporting destroyers. What is this? But you can actually kind of get a little bit closer and get a little bit more aggressive. And I think I get a bit more aggressive than most people do with their Conquerors, helping the destroyers and pushing up caps. Because if you can be 11 kilometers away and put a massive, massive HE salvo onto a destroyer, you can absolutely wreck their lives, especially with the HE that you can do in this. Destroy torpedo tubes. Basically take a cruiser out or a destroyer out of the match almost, and really put him into some hurt. And of course, we're still hitting things at what 24k away with relative ease. So these are what the targets you're really looking for with this ship and a Yamato. So Yamato can still hurt you, and they're still going to, no matter kind of what angle you aim. But you're looking for these big juicy farm targets. You're looking for Yamatos, you're looking for curve first especially. You're looking for Montanas, really honestly anything that's a battleship, and that is the reason why this ship, the ship's damage is so high. The ship's damage, the average damage, we're rocking about 115,000 I think over even the NA server, is so high because of the type of damage it's doing. Now, Conquerors are mainly going to focus on other battleships. Why? Because it's just easier. It's easier to focus these things. You are going to get rewarded with big, big numbers. I mean, this Yamato's focusing on me, and in 2 salvos, he's lucky we didn't get a fire on him, but we chunked a decent amount off of that Hindenburg as well. And it's just easy to farm you guys. And just like that, I can drop detection, reposition, and then come back in. So right there, There's the big 21k. He may have gotten a Citadel on there, but as you can see, whatever damage he just did to me, I was able to repair right back. Now I can get in, I guess, the Conqueror stance of kind of angled away and just run, as well as continuing to pump out this crazy damage. So, this ship basically just, no matter where you are, what angle you are, what armor you have, you're not going to be able to do anything with the battleship. You just can't. This thing is going to be every battleship 1v1. It has the lowest detection, it has the best heal, it has one of the best rate of fires, if not the best rate of fires, and it's just going to burn you down to oblivion, which I've seen kind of a weird change when it comes to high tier battleships. You're starting to see a lot more of Montana shooting, going full HE. You're starting to see some Curvers go HE. God forbid you're even seeing some Mottos go HE. And this game, we ended up doing decent damage in this game, but nothing like, we're not dropping 300k games. I wanted to kind of show this game a bit more to show off its AP, because I feel like this is the sole ammo everyone's using for this ship, and they're really kind of playing this ship wrong in a way, and they're playing it just the easy way, and that's what's really kind of bumming me out about what has kind of happened. Like I said, this is going to kind of turn into a rant video. So this ship is all about HE, and it's the first time that's really hit World of Warships, is HE spamming battleships. You know, when people asked me going into this game, hey, I'm new, what ammos do I use for which ship? It was very simple. It was battleships shoot AP almost exclusively. If there's a destroyer, then maybe HE. Destroyers shoot almost exclusively HE, but if in the right situations, they can shoot AP. And then cruisers mostly shoot HE, and then AP on a broadside target because you can get rewarded for it. This is the first line that is just this brain dead new play style that I'm really not a fan of in World of Warships. You know, in the past, you would get rewarded for knowing what a ship has for armor and what a ship has for its abilities to tank and its heals and stuff like that. You know, bow tanking, and you know, I know that bow tanking isn't super super popular, but like just knowing that a ship has armor and its ability to use its armor, and you know, being able to do stuff like that, you know, and fighting around these citadels and whatnot, that's what you kind of learned as a battleship. Yeah, you can still get burned down from other stuff, but a battleship, you're really gonna have to, you know, get aggressive and push and tank and stuff like that. But this is the first line that's really just, you kind of get punished for tanking. You take a lot of damage from kind of everything, even just cruiser AP. They can absolutely just shred you, and it's just shoot HE damage. That's all you need to do. You could be successful in this line if you never shot armor piercing ammo. You could be successful. Now this line does reward people who do shoot AP in the right situations. This has, I think it's called a low fuse AP, something like that, and it absolutely destroys stuff. I wish I would have had 2 salvos for that. I'm getting ready for the destroyers that are challenging B, but I wish I would have shot AP on that, and this later in the game will show the AP against the Yamato, what it can do. But the AP on these guns are very good, but there's really just no consistent. I remember there's multiple times where I was trying to shoot AP on a not a perfectly angled battleship, a Montana, but it was decently angled, and I even said, quote, there's no reason to shoot anything other than HE in this. Same with the Lion. There's no reason to shoot HE or anything but HE. You just get so rewarded, and it's such a weird thing to see, especially for somebody that's played this game as long as I have, where, you know, you get, and it's like that, a well-angled against AP. AP would have done nothing, and I got 2 fires on him, which I don't think he can repair, and I still did almost 10,000 with alpha damage. This ship is just, people ask me what's the weak point of this ship. There really isn't anything. It's not bad at anything. It has good AA when you spec it out, right? It has the best concealment. It has the best HE. It has the best, one of the best rate of fires. There's nothing wrong with this ship, and you just kind of wonder how, well, me Josh, but it has bad secondaries and it can't brawl. Why would you ever need to brawl on this thing if you can just burn everything down from max range? That's the point that is kind of just blowing my mind with this ship. and I was really hoping to get a nice little salvo on this Yamato, but he played it pretty correctly. A lot better than our Yamato played this situation. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird. There is a reported nerf incoming to this ship, but it really isn't gonna be what needs to happen to fix this ship. It's gonna be on its damage and repair party. Apparently, the increased cooldown of repair party and stuff like that. The thing is, though, you don't really need a fast repair party on this ship because the majority of the time you're gonna be so far away from danger, it doesn't really matter. So that's the part. It's like they're kind of they're nerfing a part of the ship that people aren't doing too much. Like, people aren't pushing that much in this ship because they're staying at max range. They're staying at max range, they're pumping in damage, they're going undetected, and then once they can shoot again, they're shooting again. Because taking damage isn't fun, and this damn Gross Void needs to go away. But that's how the majority of people are playing this ship, and the fact that they are staying at max range and they're waiting for their cooldown on their shot and stuff like that. And there's a nice little Gross Void kill. And then when they have to, then they push up and can do that. So I don't know. I feel like they're now punishing. I play this ship a lot more aggressive than I think a lot of other Conquerors do. You are a battleship and you are queuing into a battleship position, so you still need to play that role, which a lot of people don't. When they're playing this, I'm seeing a lot of people who are they're just doing that. They're playing people. It's been labeled the Megazao, and they're playing at that max range, and it's just not really working. And you can't get too much production out of it. You're gonna get lots of damage, but I mean, if you're not going to tank for your team, so what's going to end up happening is your cruisers are going to take more damage, and your other battleships are going to take more damage because you're not fulfilling the role, which is this line is battleships have had this certain role for a long time, and now they just don't have anything in it, or now they don't do anything, and it's hard to be a battleship against this. It's not like you can go be Yamato and just say, okay, I'll take on the Conqueror, because the Conqueror will just burn you down. I really, really hope that they change some stuff on this. The Conqueror doesn't have bad AP. It really doesn't. And if they nerf the HE a little bit to this ship, as you see right now, that guy put an 8,000 salvo on a mediocre angle on me. And when he switched to AP, I just bounced it. So it's like, why shoot anything but? Why shoot anything but HE? Like, even that was, like, I think pretty mediocre damage. If I'd have been like Yamato or something like that, would have hurt him a lot more. But I really hope they won. I think the heal is fine, the amount of heal, because you are so fragile compared to other ships. Just for the pure alpha damage, not so much the Citadels. I think, one, they need to tone down the alpha damage of AP. And I think they need to either, one, drop the fire chance a little bit, or just the alpha damage. You don't want to nerf it completely into the ground, but it seems so weird that here's the power of the AP right here. So we got a nice little salvo on that guy, but I'm gonna use the back turrets for the old little chappy. And look at the Yamato finally pokes out his nose. Most people would probably be shooting HE right here, but I shoot AP more than anything because it has good AP. Embrace the AP on the Conqueror, please. So there you go, nice little double strike, almost 30k on that Yamato. And a good little comeback there. So being aggressive in the Conqueror, what's that? But really, I don't like what this this is doing to World of Warships. It has completely kind of dropped off this learning curve. I think even the German battleships were kind of not my favorite line. I don't recommend the German battleships for new players because it doesn't teach you that you can get punished for being broadside. Yes, you will get like big damage, but you don't get that big Citadel hit. And this is the same thing. And you can see Conquerors that are just sitting broadside and just raining down HE because they just don't get punished enough. They can just heal through all that extra damage, and you know, it just seems so weird to me that this is something that they want to add to the game. You know, I think the skill gap. And you know, it's not like I want to make this. I want to make this game completely like the good players are good and the bad players are bad. I don't want that. But this game has just gotten easier and easier and easier over the time that they've slowly added in stuff that doesn't that is almost, it rewards people for not really knowing stuff and not learning stuff, and then taking out that learning aspect of this game, which I think is important for a game like this. Simple things like adding last known position to the game, that it makes it so you don't need that map awareness, and if you had that map awareness, you're not getting rewarded anymore for that. And this now, instead of being rewarded for using armor on your ship correctly, you don't get that anymore. I'm all for ships being different. I like unique play, but I feel like World of Warships is really trying to get too gimmicky with too many things, and that's causing a massive, massive kind of imbalance, and they're kind of running out of ideas to kind of push into the ships to make stuff different. I like that. I like ships playing different, but this I don't think is the way to go. I think this is a really, really bad way for this game to go. You have these kinds of ships. I hope that the Conqueror's HE gets nerfed, because the AP is good. It doesn't need that HE to be a successful battleship. It really doesn't. I would love to see them tone down the HE and embrace the AP, and really let this thing kind of be this sneaky assassin that could be battleships. I mean, I think it'd be a fun ship to play and could be very, very, very effective at what it does. We already have enough battleships on the 10 and 1 line and the J line and sniping. We don't need to make an entire line about that playstyle. So anyways, guys, I don't want to harp on rant too long on this ship, but that's my quick review. Like, this ship is insane. It's absolutely insane. I don't know how it's still in the game in its current stage. It seems like it should have not gone through testing like this. I mean, looking at the stats, the damage it pumps out is just bonkers compared to everything else. And yeah, there it is. It has good good AP, good HE, good AP, good AA. I said AP twice because I just want to embrace that. Heal, concealment. You can't go wrong with this ship, guys. The line's different, which I like. And there's a pot of gold at the end, and it's the Conqueror. And play it until it gets nerfed to hell, I guess. That's it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.